Okay, it is time to clean this monster out. There's stuff from last year in it, but if you look at the top up there, I cap it so no rain can get in. And, rain makes rust. You can't have rust. So it's just about time to fire up the monster. So let's get it cleaned out and get it ready. I even make my own charcoal. Okay, before I finish cleaning this, I'm gonna go up and get my air compressor. Because up here where this damper is, underneath, gets about an inch of dust on it throughout the year. So I'm going to go up and get my air compressor and blow all that dust down to the bottom. And I also have a wire brush on a big pole, and I'm going to clean a little bit up inside. Get all that stuff dropped to the bottom before I finish. So let's go do that. Is up here where this damper runs, there's a plate that goes across, and this damper closes over the stack. So what it does is it gets a lot of dust and dirt and fine dust up in there, as you can see. So I blow that out every year before I fire up the monster. That's pretty clean. We got everything pretty well done. I do this right before the burn season. I completely clean it. You saw me wire brushing everything down. I get that all done. And then during the burn season, I really don't have to do anything to this stove other than clean it once a week and hoof the wood to her. I got the blower or the damper blown out. We've got the barrel stove cleaned out. This opening here is 27 inches by 27 inches. So you can put some really big wood in it, but I put wood in it that I actually can handle, because my back's old and I don't really want to do that. So you saw what I was doing with my wood, and we're going to finish that up next weekend and get the rest of it in the shed. So that's coming. But the project at hand right now is to take this off, and under here there's a blower motor, and that has to be lubricated and checked. And in the back there's another blower motor that needs to be lubricated and checked. So right now we're going to do that. These are self-tapping screws. I lost the other ones long ago and they stripped out, so put these in. They work awesome. Self-tappers are like the fix-all. This is the blower motor here. Long ago, the original caps broke, so I put inner tube on them, and it works great. So that is awesome. These are aircraft nuts on here. I put a piece of cardboard down here because I'm constantly used to be losing tools now, or pieces, little pieces, parts down in here, and it's not good. These are good old American SAE 7/16. I don't know how they got away with that. This is a solenoid here that when the stove calls for heat, this solenoid snaps open and pulls this cap up and lets your blower air go in. And this blower comes right off. And it's got a little crap in there, so we'll get rid of that. This goes up and in, so anything that's down in the bottom is not a problem. I use this trusty stuff here, and I put it on these solenoids, on the sliders. So that they are fully lubricated. And these blowers have to be lubricated. As you can see, they get crap on them. That out. A lot of that's caused from the oil I put in. So now there's two places where you put it in. Well, I guess there's one. As you can see, this is a weep hole here. So what I do is I put 8 drops in. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll put 9 and 10 in. Good measure. And then you spin this blower and let that get inside. I actually lost one of these blowers because I did not know that you had to lubricate them. I thought they were sealed bearings. And the guy said, oh no, they're not. So anyway, that's all we had to do there. I knew there was another spot right here. So we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And we'll spin that again. I actually bought some of these ahead. I have extras out in my shop. Okay. And that's all it has to be done to that. So now this goes back on and we put it back together. All right, go to the back. You have to deinstall this cover. And I always run these back in because there's no good place to put them out here. So I just stick them back in so that they don't get lost. Now these are the pumps. One of them goes to one building and one of them goes to the other building. And when I start this monster up, these run 24/7 and pump heated water around to each of the buildings. In this building here, we have a forced air, hot air system, forced air. And it is a water to air plenum that goes into the plenum of the big furnace in there. So the water goes through that plenum and gets, when the air comes through, it picks up the heat and pushes it out into the building. And this house has radiators, hot water in it. And what happens there is heat exchangers in there for my radiators and for my hot water. So that works as well. So let's get this blower off and get her checked. Again, lighter solenoid sliders. Beautiful. Now this one is a different heater, so it doesn't have the air induction underneath. So that is where you lubricate it. Spinner end. That one looks really good too. So we're all set here. I'm going to stick a little 3-in-1 oil on these, just because everything gets dry and there's nothing you can do about it. You just keep working at it. It's like water. Rust is relentless. Okay, we got some serious stuff in here. She's full. Now we'll get some Boy Scout starter fluid, which is my off-road diesel, and we'll put that in there and we'll fire this thing up. Stand by. This is my 5500 series Woodmaster Super Duty. I call it the monster. And yesterday we got it cleaned out. We got the motors lubed up. We got the damper blown out. And today it's time to fire it up. So let's do that. First thing, we have to come down here and turn on the breaker. I heard it fire up. Let's go make sure that the pumps are running. They sound like they are. Our digital display is up and running. You can see the water temperature is 41. The green light is on, so that means the water is fine. Back here, that pump is running. That pump is running. So the next thing we have to do is take the cap off. So let's do that. Everything in there looks awesome. Okay. Boy Scout Firewater. It's actually off-road diesel. And I know I don't have to tell you this, but never, ever, ever use gasoline to start any of this stuff. You're insane. Gasoline could pool up in there and provide vapor enough to blow this thing up. You know that, I know that, but you have to say it. So let's squirt some of this in there and get this thing lit. That should do it. As you can see, not super flammable. No gasoline. Now, around here, we have to turn our blower on. Reset. What do I have it set at? 150. I'm going to go up to 160 for now. Alright. Right now it's at 44 degrees. So now we'll let the monster roar. See the smoke coming out of the stack. It'll probably take maybe a half hour, 40 minutes for it to get up to temperature, and then it'll automatically kick off
the gas in the house and take over and run this. A little bit of history on this. I used to have this over here. It sat right at the end of this walk. Why I had them install it there is because I was under the impression at the time that you could stack wood around the stove and then just feed it in as you went. Well, that didn't work out real good. It was insane. So I ran this for about 2 years here, maybe 3, I can't remember exactly. And then we moved it over here and I put down a cement pad under it. I ran the pipes, I ran new pipes up through here to where it crosses over the driveway, and it's been here ever since, and it works absolutely great because it was crazy bringing wood from the woodshed over here, because I built the woodshed after I realized the wood had to be dry even in a monster like this. So I built the woodshed and I hoofed the wood from over here all the way over there for a year, and I decided that I might be completely insane, so I moved the stove over here the next summer, and it's been here ever since, and it works great. And as you can see, the temperature's starting to come up. It's up to 48 now. Pumps are running. I'm going to put antifreeze in this because in my area over here where I live, over the last few years the price of natural gas has dropped substantially, so I have a pretty efficient gas furnace in the house, and I have a nice one in this building as well as a backup. And I previously ran this stove for, I've had it for 11 years, and I ran it for all that time, probably 5.5 to 6 months out of the year, sometimes 7 depending on the weather. And I've always had water in it, so I always had to run it to make sure my piping didn't freeze. So what I'm going to do this year is put concentrate in it, and I'm going to put a water mix in it that'll get me around 35 below zero. And I'm probably, for the foreseeable future, going to run this stove for probably about 3 months out of the year. Probably December, January, and February is what I'll do, and run gas the rest of the time. So I'll only need to fill my woodshed here about halfway out to here, and that'll be enough for 3 months. That'll probably end up being about 23 to 24 cord, and I used to fill this thing up, and when I was burning 6 to 7 months out of the year, I would burn 35 to 40 depending on how cold the winter was, but always at least 30. So we're gonna go for 3 months out of the year, and we're gonna do it that way. Let's check our fire. Looks awesome. We'll come out and check later. 45 minutes later, and you can see the temperature is now at 129 and climbing. Once it gets to 110, I heard my gas furnace shut down. So now we'll check and see what we got inside here, and then put some wood in it. Oh yeah, it's looking awesome. Wood's on fire. We'll stack her up for tonight. And then I'll check it again in the morning. Why I call it the monster. This thing does eat wood. And it does heat well too. You can see it's up to 134 now, still showing the flashing and low alarm. It won't stop flashing until it gets to 160. Then it'll go back down to 150 on a 10-degree cycle, and the blowers will shut down at 160 and fire back up at 150, and it just keeps cycling back and forth that way. So anyway, we're good. Let's load up this wheelbarrow and get ready for the morning. It seems like I just stacked this wood in here. Oh, that's right, I did. That ought to do it for tomorrow. Alright. Let's go in the house where it's warming up. It's been about 3 weeks since I fired up the monster. It's working real well. It always does. This stove is amazing, and it's a great stove. All our wood's cut, split, and stacked. And there's a video coming of that. And now I'm going into winter shop, and I have a bunch of projects that I'm planning for that, so that's next. So let's go do that. Thanks for watching. Come on, Tilly. This is the Mighty Tillerman. He's my boy. Yes, you are. He's a little guy. I've actually had people ask me if he's a real dog. And this is Miss Tess. They're both terriers, and we love them. Yes, we do. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy dogs.